Good evening. Gold just shattered every historical record mankind has ever known, blasting past $5,100 an ounce while silver violently smashed through the once unthinkable $100 mark. And this is not just another market rally. This is not speculation. This is not hype. This is a global financial warning signal flashing red. And at the center of this shockwave stands one name that has once again shaken the foundations of world markets: Donald J. Trump. Because the moment Trump's influence re-entered the global power equation, fear returned, volatility exploded, and money began running for safety like never before. And to understand why gold and silver are doing what they're doing right now, you must first understand one simple truth that Wall Street never wants retail investors to fully grasp. Markets don't move on logic alone. They move on confidence. And confidence right now is collapsing across governments, currencies, and institutions worldwide, starting with the United States, where Trump's aggressive trade rhetoric, tariff threats, geopolitical pressure campaigns, and open challenges to central bank independence have reignited memories of economic warfare, supply chain chaos, currency manipulation, and financial instability, pushing investors, central banks, billionaires, and even sovereign nations into one single decision: get out of paper, get into real money, because gold is not rising due to strength. Gold is rising due to fear, and silver is exploding because when fear reaches its final stage, people don't just hedge, they panic. And this panic didn't start overnight. It has been building silently for years beneath the surface of artificial stock market highs, debt-fueled growth, and endless money printing. But Trump's return to the center of global attention acted like a spark dropped into dry gasoline, igniting unresolved tensions between the US and China, reopening tariff war scenarios, threatening supply chains already stretched thin, and exposing the fragile reality of a global system addicted to cheap money and political stability, both of which are now in question. And when Trump talks about tariffs, borders, reshoring manufacturing, punishing trade partners, and redefining alliances, markets don't hear politics, they hear uncertainty. And uncertainty is kryptonite for fiat currencies, because the US dollar, the euro, the yen, and every paper currency on earth relies on trust, not value. And once trust cracks, money flees. And where does it go? It goes to assets that have survived empires, wars, collapses, and revolutions. Gold and silver, the same metals kings hoarded, the same metals central banks quietly accumulate, the same metals that cannot be printed, hacked, frozen, sanctioned, or erased with a keystroke. And this is why central banks themselves have been some of the biggest buyers of gold in recent years, because they know what's coming before the public ever does. And now that gold has crossed $5,000, it is sending a message louder than any headline. The system is under stress, and silver breaking $100 confirms something even more dangerous: that inflation expectations are no longer anchored, that industrial demand is colliding with monetary fear, and that physical supply is tighter than anyone publicly admits, because silver is not just money, it is energy, technology, defense, solar power, electronics, and modern warfare. And when silver spikes this violently, it signals that both economic fear and real-world scarcity are converging at the same time. And Trump's shadow looms large over this entire movement because his policies historically weakened the dollar through trade conflict while strengthening the appeal of hard assets. And markets remember this. Algorithms remember this. Institutional investors remember this. And they are positioning early, because once gold enters a true fear-driven cycle, it doesn't move slowly. It moves explosively, pulling silver with it at an even faster pace. And this is why mainstream media will try to downplay what's happening, calling it temporary, speculative, or emotional, because acknowledging the real reason would mean admitting that confidence in global leadership, monetary discipline, and financial stability is eroding, and they cannot afford that narrative. But the charts don't lie, the flows don't lie, and history doesn't lie, because every time gold has made a move of this magnitude, it has coincided with major geopolitical or monetary shifts: the collapse of Bretton Woods, the inflation crisis of the 1970s, the global financial crisis of 2008. And now once again, gold is screaming while stocks pretend everything is fine. And Trump's presence amplifies this divergence, because love him or hate him, Trump represents disruption, unpredictability, and confrontation. And markets fear disruption more than bad news, because bad news can be priced in. Chaos cannot. And this is why safe haven demand is surging at a speed not seen in modern history. Why physical gold premiums are rising. Why silver inventories are thinning. Why delivery delays are increasing. And why smart money is moving quietly while the public is distracted by headlines, entertainment, and noise. Because this is how wealth transfers happen. Silently at first, violently later. And those who understand what gold above 5,000 really means know that this is not the end of the move. It's the beginning of a new phase, one where currencies weaken, debt becomes heavier, interest rates lose effectiveness, and trust becomes the most valuable commodity of all. And silver at $100 is a psychological line that, once crossed, changes investor behavior permanently, because it breaks disbelief. And once disbelief is gone, momentum takes over, and momentum doesn't ask permission. It accelerates, and Trump's influence ensures that geopolitical tension, trade friction, and policy uncertainty will remain elevated, keeping fear alive and safe haven demand strong. And the most dangerous part is this. Most people will only realize what's happening after prices are already far higher, because by the time gold feels safe to buy, the opportunity is past. And by the time silver feels cheap, it's no longer available. And this is why this moment matters, why this move is historic, and why gold and silver are not just assets right now. They are messages, warnings, and signals that the global financial order is shifting under our feet. And whether this ends in controlled restructuring or full-blown crisis depends on decisions yet to be made. But one thing is already clear. The market has spoken, fear has spoken, and gold and silver are telling a story that no politician, no central bank, and no media outlet can silence. Because when gold reaches all-time highs and silver breaks triple digits, history is not whispering, it is shouting, and the world is listening, even if most people don't realize it yet. Good evening.